So I'm sitting here eating and reading, and I came across this last paragraph, and it just hit me so hard. If you are truly honest and compassionate with yourself, you can begin to see your own habits and some of these examples and begin to recognize where you may be denying yourself the very thing you desire. Whichever aspect of your life you are not allowing yourself to experience, whether it's joy, peace, patience, compassion, love, gratitude, faith, forgiveness, or whatever, this is where your inner work lies. Not because you need to be a better person, follow a set of commandments, or adhere to some sort of moral code, but simply because it feels better to choose better. And if you want to live a life of true freedom and lasting happiness, choosing better starts within. I cannot tell you how true that last statement is. Let me read it again. Simply because it feels better to choose better. And if you want to live a life of true freedom and lasting happiness, choosing better starts within. I was so depressed since childhood, like severely depressed. And I always wanted someone to love me. That was my deepest desire in the world, is to have someone to love me and to treat me the way I saw on all these love shows and romantic movies, because I'm a hopeless romantic. But I saw all that and I wanted someone to love me. But what I didn't see is those people loved themselves long before anyone came along and loved them the way they needed to love. Because you have to have boundaries and you have to know that person's not loving me the way I want, despite the outer image that they're trying to portray, which, in the beginning, it's all lovey-dovey. Every relationship is like that honeymoon stage of the relationship. Everything is good. But when you start seeing those red flags, that's when you need to have your boundaries set in and cut it off right then and there. And I didn't know that. I started seeing the red flags and I was just like, oh, that's okay. Because I was still holding on to the honeymoon stage and what the perception I had of the person because of what they told me, not looking at the actions. I was only listening to the words. So it caused me a lot of problems in my dating life and also in my personal life, because then it became, this person doesn't love me. Why doesn't this person love me? Why am I not capable of being loved? What's wrong with me? And the thing that was wrong with me is I wasn't loving myself. But once I decided to go inward, everything happened within this last year, 2023. That's when everything started to change for me, because that's when I was like, I'm going to choose me. My New Year's resolutions wasn't, lose weight or eat healthy. Mine was set boundaries and love me. Learn me. That's what it was. Set boundaries and learn who I was. Who is Issa? Then, once I started to go inside and find who I was as a person, not as a mom, not as a partner, not as a sister, not as a daughter, but who was I as a person? That's when I started just to become happier. Circumstances, they've not gotten better. They've gotten worse, but I don't want to speak that negativity into the picture, because even though the circumstances have not been ideal, I still have this sense of peace that I've never had, that just came about within the last 10 months. 11 months now, since we're in November. It just came about, and I sit back and I observe, because I'm always in my head. So I sit back and I observe how my life is now, and then I'm like, I don't know where it came from. I mean, I know where it came from, but I don't know where it came from. But I love it. I can go through stuff and still be like, you know what? God's got it. I don't have to worry, because I know the universe will always provide for me. I honestly gave up. I stopped being a Christian when I was 18, because in my school I learned religious studies. I went to a Christian school, but they taught religious studies, so I was able to learn about all the different religions, the few major religions I was able to learn about. And I just felt like Christianity contradicted. So, mind you, this was like a year after I got baptized. I was always in a church. My aunt, devoted Christian. Grandmother, devoted Christian. Aunts, all aunts on my dad's side, devoted Christians, and those are the people that I seen on a daily basis. So I always went to church. I sang in a choir. I love Christian songs. All of that. But 18, I was like, this is not for me. So I didn't have a religion. And then 21, 22, I started practicing Islam for my partner. So it wasn't like, I thought it was going to bring me and my partner together. And then I was like, oh, but my mom was Muslim too growing up. So I always remember her wearing her khimars. And I thought that was so cute. And I always liked that, because that's what my mom did. I wasn't raised by her. So anything she did was like amazing to me. So then I took on Islam, and I did it for a while, wholeheartedly. But then it became harder. The more you learn, the more you're trying to live the way the Quran tells you to. It's very hard. The religion is very hard and is very disciplined, and I didn't have the right teachers to teach me what I needed. So then I stopped practicing. I would still say I'm Muslim. Still, I'm Muslim. I didn't eat pork, but I smoked, I drank, I listened to music. I did whatever I wanted. I didn't pray. I didn't talk to God at all. And then I came to the realization, like, this isn't right. First of all, this is disrespectful to the religion itself, because I'm not practicing. But yet I'm here saying that this is the religion that I have. Islam is not a religion. Islam is a lifestyle. And it was hard to develop that lifestyle. So then I just would say, like, I just wouldn't say that I'm Muslim, because I was too ashamed of what everybody would think. That was another thing. I was very big on people pleasing and worrying about what everybody else thought about me. So I didn't want to outright say I'm not Muslim, because the people around me were still Muslim. And I felt like I would be judged for it. And then I moved into my own place, and my boyfriend was Christian. So I'm like, well, now that I'm in my own place, I'm free to choose what I want, because I don't have anyone judging me. What I thought, I didn't have anyone judging me now, because no one saw me on a daily basis. And then I started to say, you know what? No, I'm not Muslim. I officially denounced it. I'm not Muslim. And of course I had my pushbacks. Wow, that's crazy. Oh, you just doing anything. Oh, here you go doing it for your partner again. But that wasn't the case. This time, it was me knowing that that wasn't right for me. Me knowing that that wasn't me anymore. I was tired of hiding who I was to please everybody else. Again, all of this happened within this year. And I started eating pork because I'm like, you know what? I haven't ate pork in a long time. And my grandmom used to eat pork, so I grew up eating pork. Literally, pig feet and all. She would cook it all. And I used to tear it up. But when I became Muslim, I had to stop all of that. So I started eating pork again. And I'm like, you know what? And that was another thing. I hated the fact that I couldn't eat what I want. I watch these cooking shows and I'm like, wow. I would really like to do that. Like, I really want to just eat whatever I want. So now I'm cooking it and I'm learning different recipes. And I'm like, yeah, dog, whipping it up. And then at the end of the summer, I decided I am not going to eat meat. It came out of nowhere. But I'm like, you know what? It's healthier. And I'm changing everything else in my life. This is something that I want to change. I want to live. I always say it. I'm going to live until I'm 96. In order for me to live until I'm 96, I have to eat properly. I have to exercise and do all of this stuff. I haven't gotten to the exercise part yet, but it's coming. But I consciously knew that I had to change my whole lifestyle. And slowly and surely, it's definitely changing. But it was so easy because I was already on my spiritual journey. I was already on my healing journey. And though issues was coming up that I just was like, at times this year, I just was like, am I a bad person? Like, am I really this fucked up? Am I just this horrible person? I had all my traumas and everything coming up, and I'm dealing with those and living in processing those. And then I had my partner telling me that, oh, I'm doing this wrong, I'm doing that wrong. And I really started, this problem was because of me, and all arguments were because of me. And I'm like, damn, am I really this fucked up person that I never thought that I was? Am I really this fucked up person that I always thought that I was? Because again, me wanting love from the outside world, I always question, like, am I so fucked up that I'm not capable of being loved? Then I started, my healing journey continued. And I'm like, no. He's projecting on me. Every argument is not my fault. No. The people I chose as partners, men and women, they were all me projecting outwardly. So their issues was how I felt about myself. And now I'm realizing, like, I need to be alone. That's why they say when you're on your healing journey, you have to be alone. So I need to be alone, and I need to focus on me, and I need to work on me so that I am not recycling the same person in a different body. If that makes sense. I'm not recycling the same issues in different people. Because even though everybody comes different shapes and forms and sizes and all of that, it was always the same, emotionally unavailable. Now I'm realizing it's because I was emotionally unavailable, because I had so much trauma and so much just depression and everything built up that's the type of person I want for. And I don't want that anymore. So I know that I have to work on me. And it will be a long time before I get into another relationship, until I feel like, nope, as soon as I said that, it's not what I feel. It's how I'm going to trust in spirit, and I'm going to trust in divine timing. But and I'm not going to focus on that. In the meantime, I'm going to focus on true freedom and lasting happiness. Y'all, I quit smoking and everything. Clear blue. It was so easy. Before, I was so stressed. I had to have it. Me and my boyfriend broke up. I knew I had to get a job. I knew I didn't want no fast food restaurant job or anything like that. So I'm like, you know what? I gotta quit smoking so that I can get a good job. And as soon as I said that, it was like a switch, because I didn't want it. We worked on it for like a month and a half. Try to get our relationship back for a month and a half. And he would be right over here smoking. Same room. I would just move down the other end so that I'm not inhaling it. Because again, I was looking for a job, so I knew my system had to be clean. But it wasn't I gotta have it, he's smoking, I gotta have it, he's smoking, I could just smoke a little bit, he's smoking, I gotta have it. It wasn't that. It doesn't bother me. It didn't bother me. It was as if someone was smoking a cigarette. The same thing happened with cigarettes. When I said I was done smoking cigarettes years ago, I quit. Just that easy. And I thought it would be so much harder. I stopped drinking hard liquor. I said I will only drink wine. I kept backsliding because, he drank hard liquor. So I'm like, whatever. I might as well drink it. But now I'm like, no. I got to do what's best for me. Not what everybody else is doing to cope. Because everybody else is just coping with life. I don't want to cope anymore. I want to live a happy, peaceful life. I want to be the person that has plants all around and just thank God for everything. And be just those happy-go-lucky hippies is what I call them, because that's my thought. That's what I think of when I see someone that's living in their divine happiness, their divine being. I think of hippies, because hippies they just love everything, and they just are one with the world, and that's what I want. I'm learning me, and I'm learning what I like. And the crazy thing about it, as I'm developing on my spiritual journey, I have been spiritual my whole entire life. But because I didn't know me, I didn't know a lot of stuff that I'm learning that is very spiritual now. I used to always love, but I never paid attention as to why. India.Arie, Erykah Badu, they are my favorite. I love neo soul music, period. But India.Arie and Erykah Badu are my favorite artists of all time. And as I sit here in my spiritual journey and I listen to the words of their music, It's spiritual. Come on now. So much stuff that I've just always liked throughout my life is coming up now in my spiritual journey. And I'm like, wow. I'm believing in divine timing. So I guess it just wasn't right. I had to experience the trials and tribulations that I've experienced in my life in order for me to develop this inner peace so quickly, because I feel like it came quickly. I have peace that I didn't have a year ago. I have peace that I didn't have months ago. I just have peace now, and it's lovely, and I can smile every day because I know that God always provides for me. I talk to God way more down than I've ever done in my whole entire life. Even going to church every Sunday, going to Bible study, going to being in the choir and doing all this stuff in the church. I talk to God and I lean on God way more now than I've ever done in my whole entire life. If that was God's plan for it not to go right, I have to trust and believe that He has something better for me. That's what I say now. Before, it was, why does bad stuff always happen to me? My life is just never-ending stream of badness. Like, that's what I thought. Now it's like, I guess God just wasn't right. And if I didn't get that job, I know that God will have another one. I'm struggling with my bills because my boyfriend left me when I was a stay-at-home mom and only had a job working 9 hours a week. So I didn't have any freaking money to pay these bills. What? I've been with my client for over a year and a half. For like a year and a half now. I didn't want to give her up. She's the sweetest thing. 89-year-old lady that is a sweetheart, and she's become like so dear to me. I don't want to give her up. So I'm like, I gotta find a job that goes around my work schedule with her, plus around my kids' schedule, because the two youngest is in preschool and they get out at 1:30 in the afternoon. Then I gotta turn around and get my oldest out at 3:15. I'm like, I need something. So I didn't stress. I have faith that my bills are going to get paid, that I am not getting put out. I worked too hard to get my place, to be on my own. Again, I refuse to let it happen again, but I know that God always provides and everything always works out. I'm not going to stress over this. I refuse to stress over this. And you know what? That next week, I got a job. I got another client. Literally like 7 to 10 blocks, because you know the little blocks. 7 to 10 blocks away from my house. 3 days a week, 3 to 9. I knew I knew I didn't want to stress. I knew God would provide. And when it came, I prayed and I said, God, please take this situation. I leave it up to you. I leave it in your hands. That next week, when I seen the message come through for a new client that was in my zip code, I jumped on it. And I was like, you know what? I hope it's not too far. Because, you know, sometimes the zip codes, same zip code, but it can be like a little distance. I said, I pray that it's not too far. When they sent me the address, I was so elated. I said, okay, oh, Spirit, oh, this is what you doing? This is what you doing, Spirit? Oh, you trying to put it in my face that I need to always depend on you? Okay, Spirit, I see you. Okay. That was a punch in the face. Okay, Spirit, I got you. You got me, I got you. And then another opportunity came. It's not set in stone yet, but it came, is the point. And those three things right there confirms that God got me. He has me, and I don't have to worry. I don't have to stress. And I can focus on my beautiful kids and my beautiful life that I am building for us. That's my story. Thanks for letting me share.